If you're a travel agent who loves to upskill, learn new things to take your business to the next level, all while supporting your pals in the small business world, then this is the perfect episode for you. Hey, I'm Steph, and I'm obsessed with all things travel, marketing, branding, and helping you stand out from the crowd. In just under 2 years, I went from being a home based travel agent with zero clue how to make it work in the digital world to launching an international ranking travel podcast and creating an online course to help travel agents in lead generation. Here's one thing I know for sure: there has never in the history of the world been a better time to create the travel business you've always wanted. All you need is an actionable strategy and someone to show you the way. Picture this: we're going to spend the next hour of our time together at the Swim Up Pool Bar, where over a cocktail, we deep dive into travel related topics, mixed with a little classroom training. This show is dedicated to encouraging you to step outside of your comfort zone and into your travel business. I'll show you how I did it and how you can too. Hit subscribe now and let's get into it. If you're a travel agent wanting to stand out in the digital world but you struggle with consistency, tech isn't your jam, and you have no idea where to start, join my free masterclass where I talk about exactly this. Head to stephaniemyers.academy/masterclass. You're listening to Unplug in Paradise, the podcast. Hello, and welcome back to Unplug in Paradise. I hope you've had the most amazing week and you're looking forward to maybe blocking out some time in your calendars sometime soon to get away, because I know that the world is just spinning so fast at the moment. Clients are flying out of, every single airport imaginable, and all things are happening. But it doesn't mean that you need to forget about yourself, and make sure that you have something exciting in the pipeline for you to look forward to as well. So I know that I'll be definitely cooking up something in the traveling department, and I can't wait to grab my passport and be adventuring soon. Yay, it's happening. So today I wanted to share something that came out of a recent conversation that I had with another entrepreneur, just a small business owner like me, who runs a social media business and is a course creator. So, in the same realm as me right now, too. We were geeking out on all things to do with our digital courses, as you do, and I mentioned that I was heading to Burley Heads to meet my business pal, one that is featured on the podcast not too long back, and it was our very special guest, Elise from Bossy Copywriting. So she was in the area and visiting up from snuggly cold Melbourne. And I couldn't believe it. I got to meet her in person, in real life, and I got to hug her for real. So awesome to have met her, but also feel like we've known each other for such a long time, which was just really bizarre, but really special and fascinating at the same time. Yeah, so meeting someone in real life realistically shouldn't be a really big deal, but after studying alongside her for the last 2.5 years in a pandemic, my online friends have meant that, and they mean the absolute world to me. So meeting in person was just next level goodness. So when I had mentioned to my social media friend that I was meeting up with Elise, she instantly said that she fangirls over her. And yeah, I get that entirely. How could you not? And yeah, and now that she's enrolled in a couple of Elise's courses, she's mentioned that she absolutely loves her advice, her support, and that she teaches in a way that offers that extra layer of connection, because Elise has been always someone that she looks up to. And I get this too because I'm a part of both of these girls' online offerings, and I love what they're both doing. And it just shined a light on what it means to support your friends in business, which is the topic of today's podcast episode. So it definitely got me thinking, because both of these women have both very, very different offerings, one being social media, one being copywriting. And It's so different because here we are in travel, like, we don't really dive into other industries that aren't travel related, but there are so many industries that are intersect with travel that I think most of us forget about. So, I wanted to provide a similar example of this, but on a bigger level, on a bigger scale. So, throughout the pandemic, I received some feedback from a travel agent who had spent $4,000 on a Kerwin Ray course. If you haven't heard of Kerwin Ray, he's on Instagram. If you look him up, you won't stop seeing him pop up on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, so he has courses and he's more into the business motivational space. So after she had spent the $4,000 on the course, she actually lost motivation after only 30 days in his program. And looking back at the notes, it wasn't industry specific and it didn't provide a clear enough transformation that she personally could picture herself achieving. So it was aimed at anyone in business and toward any business. So, product business, service based business, any sort of business, it was going to be the one perfect fit for you. But as we know, the one size fits most approach almost never really happens. Okay. We know this. And one of my students who was initially looking at my program was blundering around in the social media space, teaching himself and trying out different things to see what would stick. He then decided that this year he wanted to formalize the strategy and knowledge behind social media and ended up signing up to a communications degree that essentially was only going to tick off one subject off his list that he really wanted to do, and that was one being social media, which would then take him 6 years to complete part-time, would make him $69,000 poorer, and he would have come out of it with a PR degree that wouldn't have helped him. So, logically, signing up to Travel Agent Runway was literally a no-brainer because, yeah, $69,000, that's so much. Anyway, some might be able to justify it. I can't, but each to their own. Anyways, today's episode, we're going to go through the 6 reasons why I love supporting friends in business, why I love learning from my friends online, and why I prefer it over any other, online course program because I just love learning from my mates. There's more to it. I feel like they give you more than someone that you don't know, like, and trust. So let's dive into the episode. Before we begin today's episode, would you please join me while we recognise the generations of the local Aboriginal people of the Bundjalung Nation who have lived in and derived their physical and spiritual needs from the forests, rivers, lakes, and streams of this beautiful valley over thousands of years as the traditional owners and custodians of these lands. As we know, the travel agent industry shakes hands with so many different industries. And like many other business owners, we too have relationships with people who aren't in our industry. So, for example, you might have a financial advisor, a social media manager, an accountant, a lawyer, a mindset coach, a voice coach, depending on what you're doing in your business, someone that handles your PR, and maybe someone who looks after your graphic design or something like that. So, us in the travel industry, we know that we've got to wear all the hats, especially in travel. Feels like we are wearing hats all the time. It's never ending. It's almost like you feel like you're wearing one hat more than you're wearing the other hats. You don't want to neglect the other hats. Or if you're like me, you just throw the hat away because you don't like them. But then again, it's a matter of just sharing the load amongst all the jobs that you've got to do in your business and just prioritizing what needs to be done and getting it done. But it's not always as easy as it sounds, as we all know that there's so much that goes on in behind the scenes in our day to day business operations. And we know that sometimes it just doesn't happen. We don't always have the brain capacity to take on other jobs. We're not expected to know all the things. But then again, on the flip side of that, we are expected to know all the things because yes, we are in business. So take taxes, for example. Taxes are completely not my jam. Counting's not my jam. I failed maths in high school. It's not my thing. But anyway, outside of airline taxes, I can definitely work with those. But the worldwide of world the big world wide world of tax is such a complete and utter minefield for me, and I do not enjoy speaking about it or acknowledging it in the slightest. So everyone has got their little tiddlywinks that they just don't enjoy in their business, and that is one of them for me. So, the reasons why I love learning from my friends, first of all, is that they have expertise. Everyone in business has their very own unique wheelhouse of offerings, and whether it's specific to the travel industry or not, or it's relevant to the day to day of your business, regardless of what it is that you need, I know that some of my friends have some really killer offerings. And I mean, it's a product or service that I know that I want to get my little hands on. They're highly skilled in what they do, they have different perspective from me, and I know that it's just going to be 100% amazing, incredible, and transformative for my business. So, of course, I want a little slice of that for my business. Number two is connection. Learning from someone that you've already made a relationship with is far easier than trying to learn from someone that you've never met. You don't know, you don't like them, and you sure as hell probably don't trust them because, hey, at the end of the day, we value connection, we value relationships, value friendships, and we nurture our contacts like we would anywhere else in the world. We love being able to just slip into their DMs or jump on an email and send them an email and they know exactly who they're speaking to and vice versa. But some may not even know your name when it comes to online stuff. So, say for example, you buy a a bundle from some graphic designer on Instagram. You think, yeah, it's amazing. But when it comes down to it, you're in their online community. They don't know your name. You ask a question, no one answers it. Especially if it's specific to the travel industry, no one really understands the industry, as we've probably most likely learnt already over the last couple of years. No one seems to understand how we do business. It's so bizarre. So yeah, it's really, really hard to establish that connection because you want to have that energy exchange going backwards and forwards. And you want to know that those people have got your best interests at heart. So, number three is support. So, I'm a huge advocate of supporting small business. And I know that as a small business myself, it is so important to double down on that when it comes to other business owners as well. Because you know what? I know them, I like them, I trust the person behind the scenes. I know that they're just not another faceless business that you see on the internet. I know that nothing lights me up more than supporting a business pal in achieving their dreams. Meanwhile, supporting them means prioritizing my own goals and dreams for my business at the same time because then I'm downloading their resources, I'm paying for their goods and services, and it's awesome. I absolutely love learning from people who have most likely spent hours and hours and hours at their desks slaving and putting so much of their love and energy into this digital product or whatever it is that you purchase online. And 9 times out of 10, they're most likely doing a happy dance every time their phone gets a little cha-ching from PayPal or Stripe or something like that. So, yeah, that definitely gets me in the feels. I love that. Number 4 is curiosity. This one may not relate to you, but for me, I have a really big curiosity. I'm very curious when it comes to different industries. Like, I mean, I have made the most incredible contacts since being in business. And if you don't already know, like I have business pals literally from all different sectors. And it's not just that of those in the travel industry, because I really love seeing how other businesses are engaging with their clientele, engaging with their audience online, how they're creating their communities. I love seeing them exercise their expertise. how they land sales, how they generate income, how they create their marketing strategies, how it works in action. Like, I'm just an absolute geek on all that sort of thing. Because unlike travel, they are all so different, and I really love that diversity. So I feel like I adopt a lot of that into my own business structure because, yeah, I'm just always curious and I'm always wondering about different ways of doing things. And yeah, we're not born to live inside of a little box. There is so many different ways to do the things, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel to make them so they fit into our space. So yes, always be curious when looking at different business models. Number 5 is growth. So I've witnessed businesses grow themselves from the ground up. I've always remained inspired as well as their biggest fan and cheerleader from the sidelines. Like, I'm such a loyal ally to so many online businesses. It's not funny, but I love everything about what it is that they're doing. And my admiration grows because I've been there to witness the magic that they've created over time, the freedom they've built for themselves in their business. That in itself, it's very rewarding to see that and being able to look at other businesses and totally fall in love with the way that they're doing things and just celebrating them for their successes. And number 6 is that you are most likely their perfect fit client. So you'll find that when anyone online creates any sort of digital offer, like an online course or a virtual workshop or anything that is made specifically to make your life easier when it comes to your business, I can guarantee you 99.99% that that person has most likely built that digital offer in and around your business and the problem it solves for you. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So, take Travel Agent Runway, my flagship online course program, which was created specifically to assist independent travel agents to develop their own rockstar online personal brand with a repeatable step by step lead generation system so they can onboard their perfect fit clients into their database all on autopilot. So the goal is to win back more time, to take more trips, spend time with their families, and just do the things that they love doing because we all don't enjoy being chained to our desks. And it's the number one reason why most people come over to a home based or an independent travel agent model because they want to have the freedom. They want to be able to choose their work hours and they feel like they have that control over the running of the business on the day to day. But this often gets overlooked because agents find themselves literally chained to their desks, living in their home offices, all because they haven't got the systems in place to help solve their biggest problems. So, the things that keep them up at night, the things that are time consuming and probably a little bit out of their scope of comprehension, maybe they struggle with the tech side of things, or maybe just have zero clue where to start and not necessarily aware that it is a problem yet. So, these are all things to consider when purchasing things online. Is it for me or is it for everyone? Am I supporting a small business? Am I connected with this person? Am I passionate about seeing them grow? Am I living in admiration of that person? Am I looking at it objectively or am I looking at it from an admiration perspective? Is it because I want to support them or is it because I know that it's going to support me? Like, all of these things you need to think of before you make any purchase online. That's got to do with upskilling yourself or revamping your travel business, whatever it is that you're looking to do. Maybe you're looking to learn more about, how to create reels, or maybe you're wanting to learn how to update all the website copy on your website. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Look to the people who are purposefully designing digital products to solve your exact problems. Because A, it's going to save you a whole world of pain. And B, it's most likely going to be much more beneficial for your pocket because you're going to get the most out of the course or the digital offerings that you've purchased. So just be really conscious of that. Purchasing with purpose. Let's call it that. If you're wanting to download an online version of today's show notes, you can head over to travelbystephanie.com.au/49 to find out the 6 reasons why I'm obsessed with learning from my friends online and why you should be too. Also, I've got some epic, exciting news for you. Stay tuned because this next coming week, I will have a brand new digital product that will be hitting the socials. So excited to make this drop. So keep your eyes on all of my social media channels, and you'll be the first to know the exact details of what this juicy little thing is. All I can say is that it's a 3-part workshop. It's got something to do with social media and it's got something to do with onboarding clients into your database. Also, it's at a really, really affordable price point. Can't say that yet, but keep your eyes peeled because I'm sure it's going to be super juicy for you. Also, if you are loving the podcast, I would love it if you would head over to Apple Podcast and subscribe and leave me a 5-star rating and review. I've received a couple of really beautiful ones lately. So, shout out to Elise from Bossy Copywriting. She appeared on episode 44. We had a really beautiful conversation about copywriting and how you can always nail it every time you go out online when it comes to your captions and copy. And also, we had the beautiful Mandy from Viva Travel also leave me some beautiful words too. So, if you are a loyal listener and you know that you'd like to leave me some love, I might even read it out in next week's episode. You'll never know. But if you do leave me some love, make sure you DM me on Instagram so I can share it. Cool. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time. See ya.